religious sites in certain parts of the world, particularly the Muslim world, they are being destroyed in the name of religion. It's not only that they are being destroyed in war or because of inter-religion or inter-sectarian differences. Look at Saudi Arabia. Nobody hates their history so much as the Saudis do. They have destroyed the entire religious heritage, Muslim religious heritage of Saudi Arabia in the name of Puritan Islam. Referring to what Peter has said, I will tell him that I am happy that Saudis are not ruling Palestine. They would have definitely destroyed the Dome of Rock and the Aqsa Mosque. All those things would have been destroyed by them because they go against the thinking of the Wahhabi, Hanbali thinking of the Saudi rulers. So they, in 1970, that was my first visit to Saudi Arabia in 1970. Most of the ancient sites, they were still intact. But 20 years later, everything has gone. And they don't belong, those religious sites, they don't belong to the Saudi rulers. They belong at least to the international Muslim community, if not to the world community as a whole. They have no right, no business to destroy them in the name of their particular sectarian belief. But that's what they are doing. And nobody is there to stop them. Coming to India, it's a very vast country, and it has at least 8 major religions being practiced on the land. The great majority belongs to the Hindu religion, but there we have millions of religious sites in the country belonging to various different and magnificent. There are countless mosques and churches, Buddhist vihars and Sikh gurdwaras and synagogues and all sort of religious sites we have. But the problem in India, and it's not only an Indian problem, I think it's the problem all the world. Neither Christianity nor Islam was born in Europe or in the United States of America. But all Western countries, they consider Christianity as their natural religion, as their most natural religion. All other religions are foreign. So this classification, artificial classification of religions between two categories, indigenous or natural religions of a particular place and for foreign religions. This is very much there in India also. 2,000 years and 1,500 years of existence in India for Christianity and Islam. They have not made Christianity and Islam Indian religions. Both the religions in India are still seen as foreign religions. And that is the crux of the problem in the country. It's not just an issue of inter-religious or inter-sectarian differences that the protection of religious sites has been a problem in India. After independence, the Britishers, I'm sorry to say, with due apologies to if there are any British scholars here, that the Britishers had only one interest, one agenda of divide and rule in the country. And so they were instigating the Hindus against the Muslims and the Muslims against the Hindu, in respect of everything, including the religious sites. And many such untoward things had happened during the British rule in the country. But after 1947, mainly because the country was divided between a Muslim state and a state which is professedly secular, not wholly secular. It is our secularism is a very qualified type of secularism. Within the Constitution of India, there are religious provisions favoring particular religious communities. So we have, our concept of secularism is a very peculiar concept. Anyway, I'll tell you that in 1976, the Constitution of India was amended to include in it a chapter on fundamental duties. And one of the fundamental duties mentioned there is every citizen has the fundamental duty to protect, to respect and protect the common cultural heritage of the country. And it has been interpreted to include religious heritage also. Despite that incidents like Ayodhya, what you refer to, have been happening. Yesterday, you told me that some of your friends have told me why only Ayodhya is being talked about, why not other incidents. I can tell you in this gathering that what happened in Ayodhya in 1992, on the 6th of December 1992, sort of that thing has never happened in the country. That was really a monumental aberration, monumental incident of communalism and religious intolerance. Despite that chapter on fundamental duties and the provision in that for the protection of common cultural heritage of the country, a lot has been happening in various parts of the country. In 1990, the National Commission for Minorities, which I have also chaired earlier, it recommended to the government a formula. And the formula was that let us accept the day on which we became independent. We became an independent nation, that is 15th of August 1947 when we became independent. Let us accept that date as the decisive date for determining which religious site belongs to which community. And we will forget about the past. Because generally there is a belief in the majority community in India that all the mosques and churches, and they are built on the sites of ancient Hindu temples. That's the general belief. And that general belief is playing havoc in various parts of the country. So the commission, Minorities Commission, recommended to the government this formula, that let us accept this date and let us make a law that whoever tries to convert a religious site of belonging to one particular community into the religious site of any other community, or tries to destroy a religious site with a view to claiming that it belongs to them, that will be an offense. And in 1991, the government of India did enact, Parliament enacted a law which is known as the Places of Worship, a Special Provisions Act 1991. But look at this, the government excluded the Ayodhya mosque from the scope of that act, because already the dispute was at a very mature stage, and by excluding Ayodhya from the scope of that act, they provided a sort of a support to those who were claiming that it was a Hindu religious site which had been destroyed 500 years ago, and on that site the mosque was built. So I would say that the state in a way has been accomplice to what happened in Ayodhya. But they said that they were making that law to prevent recurrence of such incidents in other places, because the majority community is claiming some other very well-known religious sites belonging to Muslims and the Christian minority. So they said that that law was meant for the future, but they excluded, they could have very easily applied it to the Ayodhya dispute also. The law was enacted in 1991, and the Ayodhya mosque was destroyed on 6th of December 1992, that is towards the end of 1992, years later. And this exclusion of Ayodhya mosque from the Act of 1991 gave a flip to those who were planning to destroy it. And before that, in 1988, another act was passed by the government relating to the great Sikh shrine in Amritsar known as the Golden Temple. The Golden Temple also was targeted by some people, and in the name of security, the government enacted a law in 1988. And it was not specifically made for a Golden Temple, but it said that imposed many restrictions on the use of religious sites, on the visits to religious sites, and many other provisions were made in that Act of 1988. Fortunately, the situation is currently, so far as the religious sites are concerned, not all that bad. During 1998 to 2004, the situation was pretty bad, particularly relating to Christian sites which were being destroyed day in and day out in particular parts of the country. So we do have a legal framework, and we are trying to implement it in letter and spirit as far as possible. But then the feelings of enmity between various religions And it depends on the ruler's philosophy. The present rulers, as you know, they follow a particular religious philosophy, and they believe that India should belong politically and culturally only to one particular religion, that is the most ancient religion of India, Hinduism. There is a talk about cultural assimilation in the country. All these problems are there. But I would end by saying that the solution to the protection of religious sites all over the world lies in that we should stop looking at all these sites as religious sites. And we must treat everywhere, all these sites should be treated as national heritage, not religious heritage of this religion or that religion, but we believe in nation states. So why not all the religious sites in every state should be seen as national heritage? I'll go a step further and see that all the religions themselves should be seen as the common heritage of mankind. If we stop linking a particular religion to a particular state, and we develop a culture in which all religions are seen as a common heritage of the entire mankind, there lies the solution for these problems.